You know, this week we're in northern Iowa fishing with good friend and guide down here, Kevan Paul and company. And like so many parts of the country, there's some great pan fishing, especially some great ice fishing on some of these small ponds. We're just on a borrow pit today, and what's so fun about some of these small ponds is they're big time opportunities on small water. A lot of times you're chasing rumors, you're just, you know, trying to hunt them, trying to find them. There's always a mystery every time you go in on a pond and drill holes because you just don't know what's in there. We're just exploring, and that's the fun of it. Chasing these lakes down, chasing rumors, and seeing what's living in them. There's a lot of fish that have been coming around. Oh, there he is. Here, I got a good one, Kevin. Oh yeah, look at there. Look at that. Oh yeah, beautiful fish. You know, if you're gonna catch big panfish like that, you've got to fish in water that has big panfish, as simple as that sounds, but where you find those top end panfish, those big crappies, they're a predator. And I tell you what, one thing that drives these crappies nuts when you find big fish are these small sized chubby darters. It is one of the funnest ways I know to catch a crappie that's got the mouth like a styrofoam cup.
They're fun to catch, I tell you what. Yeah, you know, loading up those baits with maggots definitely gives them a lot bigger profile, and it's a lot of fun fishing with chubby darters.
So a lot of times I think people underestimate crappies as a predator especially, but they're after minnows and they like that profile, and it looks like a minnow trying to get away, and they just come up and crush it. It's just a fun way.
We're gonna have some fun today.
To catch those top end crappies, absolutely. Oh, look at there, there's a fish that followed me way up there. Let's see if I can get him back. Oh, there we go. Come on up here. Oh, wow, look at this, big bluegill.
You know, today we're fishing this borrow pit, and there's so much fun. There's a lot of fish, and there's a lot of big fish in these. We're used to all fishing lakes and bigger bodies of water, stuff that a lot of people know about. But I tell you what, a lot of the secrets in Iowa here, we don't have a lot of major lakes. So these borrow pits, private ponds, stock dams, there's a pile of public pits. Along the interstate, you'll see these borrow pits, and what happens is they build a bridge, they do this and that, they dig out a big piece, fill them full of fish, and you have a nice little public place to fish. So if you're out looking for a new body of water and want to try something a little different, experiment a little bit, don't overlook these borrow pits or even these small ponds. You're going to catch big fish, and a lot of times they're underfished, so there's a lot of fish. So get out there and give them a shot. They're just a lot of fun.
There are over 47,000 miles of interstate highway in the United States, with countless ponds and pits created during the construction of these highways. Some of these fishing opportunities are on private land, while other ponds provide public fishing. Some regions feature several small ponds that create great ice fishing opportunities for panfish. Nebraska's Interstate 80 in particular created dozens of lakes that are managed for public fishing opportunities. These borrow pits and small dams created during these initial highway construction projects can be found across Nebraska, Iowa, and Illinois. Besides these scattered borrow pits off major highways and interstates, the state of Iowa has over 85,000 ponds in the state. These small ponds and dams often create some of Iowa's best bluegill and crappie fishing opportunities, but these locations often require exploration and research.
There you go. There's a whole bunch of them here, Jason.
Is there?
I'm marking like 6, 7 of them right now.
Aha, there you go.
All right. We've been targeting bigger crappies with these chubby darters, and I think loading up that bottom treble hook is really starting to pay off for us. You know, we're starting to see some nicer fish, and they're being a lot more aggressive. I actually tried without, I tried a little bit without that bottom treble hook loaded up. They didn't want nothing to do with it. I just freshly loaded the bait up, and sure enough, dude, this guy came up and just smoked it. How deep is it?
And then it's deeper here, so there's like a little bit of a spine right here. Let's follow this baby right up in and see where it curves around, if there's any trees in it.
I've only marked one that was huge, and that was like one of the first fish I marked, and it was like 3 times larger than the rest of these marks. I don't know if it was a northern or walleye or one of those big crappies or what, but he looked big. When you're working these borrow pits or ponds like this, it's really important just to cover a lot of water. Today we've been fishing a lot of breaks, a lot of flats, shelves, different things like that. Most of the fish we're finding are relating to structures. So for instance, right now I'm on a small flat. There's some 14 foot behind me. It come up, we're in 11 foot right now, and I'm jigging, you know, anywhere from 8 to 9 feet down. So I am trying to fish above the highest point too, because what these fish are doing is they'll come in and they'll come up to you. That's what's going to trigger the bite. Make sure the fish come up, don't go down to them, and just stay active and keep on moving. We got light augers and we're covering a lot of water today, and it's really starting to pay off. The biggest thing, like what I keep mentioning here, is mobility. Mobility is the key to success, so stay on the move and you'll catch a lot of nice panfish like we are today.
Some of the best fishing for large panfish often takes place on private land, where permission must be obtained. So approach ice fishing this winter much like you would approaching hunting deer. Seek to obtain permission and long-term relationships with landowners, and find under-the-radar, tucked-away public locations that many anglers will overlook. Many of these small lakes and dams are less than 20 acres in size and can be fragile to over-harvest. So selective harvest and catch and release practices are crucial for conserving quality panfish populations. This small water can create some big-time ice fishing.
Oh yeah, nice crappie. There. Oh, look at that. Boy, it is so cool when they come up and hit these. They just mug them. They just come up and mug it. You know, you get on these small ponds, it's not like you're going to find a navionics map of the structure out of these bodies of water, and so you have to drill some holes in these spots just to kind of learn the lake and learn the structure. But we're basically trolling on ice. That's why we're using these chubby darters. Big profile, drops down, pulls fish into your cone angle. As far as sampling water, it's just a great search bait. It's a great bait to look for fish because they can see it from a long ways away, bring them in, especially in this clear water. As you can see, they have a tendency to catch some of those bigger fish.
Come on, baby. Got one. Oh, man. Not bad.
Oh, yeah, nice fish, Kevin.
Oh, thanks, Jason. The old chubby darter.
How do you search for fish with these chubby darters is you just work it down through the water column, and you're working it down and you're pounding it all the way. Fish want these baits moving. You got to fish these really aggressive. And basically you're just sampling water. And so a fish can see this from a long ways away. You can pull fish in from 10, 20, 30 feet away in some of this clear water, but you're just trying to pull fish into your cone angle, but you can fish water fast. Just go up a few times. That way you're sampling different depths. Fish are suspended, and if no fish show up into your cone angle, reel it up and it's on to the next hole. But it's the closest thing you're going to find to trolling when you're dealing with a hole in the ice. Oh wow, come on up here. Oh, big crappie. You know, some of the mystique about these chubby darters is I think you appeal to just the competitive nature of these panfish, in the sense that you get these fish to rise up in the water column, and the further you can pull these fish up, and the more you can get these fish to compete against each other, and the more fish that you can pull into the cone angle of your electronics, you're just going to get that much fiercer of a bite. And so these chubby darters, they really bring out the predator in a lot of these panfish. Oh, love that. You know, you get these fish to come up high too in the water column because they can see them. Oh, look at here, sunfish. Oh boy, I was gonna look there. Yeah, you just get those bigger panfish to raise up in the water column, and typically the higher you get these fish, the higher the ceiling, the more aggressive these fish get. You know, when I'm using these baits for walleye fishing, a lot of times I'll fish them plain, but for panfish, just load up that bottom treble with a bunch of spikes, and basically it becomes two lures. You use that chubby darter body to pull those fish in, but once they get up on it, you quiver it, then those spikes just dance on that bottom hook. That body's gonna pull them in, but once they come in, you just bounce that treble, and that treble hook loaded with spikes is what they're gonna end up trying to hit.
I really just started using chubby darters, 2-3 years ago, and over the last couple of years, a few things I've noticed is you really got to keep that bait moving. A lot of pounding, a lot of tight quivering. The last couple fish, I've actually jigged them up, they chased it up, and I just keep it moving. For some reason, if you stop and the bait just looks dead and still and just sits there, they just get turned off, they go back to the bottom. So quick tip for you, man, when you're running these darters, man, just keep jigging, be very, very aggressive, keep that cadence really tight, and you'll catch a lot of fish running them. Oh, gosh, never gets old. Get you them big old crappies. Here he comes. There he is. Oh. Now they're beautiful fish. Awesome. Actually, here we go. Another great Iowa crappie. Just never overlook these smaller Iowa waters, ponds, and borrow pits.
Oh.
I got a nice crappie right here, Jason.
Oh yeah, there's a nice crappie. Okay, here he's coming up. There. We're using a 9-inch auger, drilling 9-inch holes, and there's a lot of these bluegills that are as long as the hole is wide. That's a 9-inch fish, 9.5-inch fish. Had maybe some that are pushing that 10-inch range. But you know, look how thick these fish are. You take a 9-inch bluegill, that's the same thing as, say, like a 40-inch muskie or a 25-inch walleye. It's so important for these fishes. We need to encourage more ice anglers to let some of these big panfish go because they're so important for these ecosystems.
He come in off the bottom, Jason?
A foot or two off the bottom.
Yeah. There we go.
Good fish, Kevin?
Yeah, feels like a nice one.
Oh yeah, rods are pounding.
Yep, another. You know, a really good practice when you're fishing these smaller ponds is to practice catch and release. You know, a lot of these fish, they can't get to the size and the caliber that we're targeting today because of people harvesting them all the time. So what happens is a lot of times you notice a small pond or a small pit like this, they can get outfished pretty easy. So practice catch and release, and a lot of times you'll notice too that you might have to switch ponds and switch different lakes and kind of stay on the move with these smaller ponds if you want to continually catch the bigger fish. Try to find those ones that haven't been touched in a few years, and you will go out and catch nice quality fish.
There we go. There, that is a good fish there. They just clobber these things. Oh yeah, look at here, another. There. No wonder he's fighting so hard. Big bluegill. Oh, love that. Love that. Look at that fish dig. If they start pulling off to the side, you know it's a good fish. You just love that. Come on up here.
Nothing better than a good fight on a little ice rod.
Boy. You're just using a 4-pound test. Oh, a nice bass. Kind of a nice bonus fish. Oh, that fish shot up 3 feet to hit that bait. That fish just crushed it. I love that. Oh yeah, look at here. This is a bluegill here. Look at this, coming in backwards, but yeah, look at that. That's a 9-inch hole. You see that bluegill is just filling up that hole. That is a dandy right there. Look at that. You know, when they've got ears on them, the size of pennies, that is a great bluegill.
I often get asked about where to start and which lakes and which areas are best to target. And I tell you what, guys, the biggest thing for me is, and a lot of people probably overlook it, is just the internet. You know, there's a lot of different things with fishing reports, forums, things like that. Those are all great places to start when you're looking for a new body of water. But I'm going to tell you something, if you really want to get a good body of water that not a lot of people know about, is go to the Iowa DNR website or your local state DNR website. They all have fish surveys and fishing reports built right into their site. So what we have done in the past is actually looked up a list of lakes and started looking at all the surveys and all the fish numbers. They'll go into these small bodies of water, they either shock it or they net it, and they put in there exactly what they caught and the size of the fish, the time of the year. It can definitely get you on the right body of water and in some of the key areas. So you know, we talked about it before. When you do find that lake you want to target, be mobile, stay on the move, and I think you'll be a lot more productive. Oh, there's one. Gosh, man, it feels good. Hope it's a crappie. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh. Man. Sweet. So good. Oh, I'll tell you what, man, another beautiful crappie. We actually just moved off of the fast break along the shoreline, moved out into a flat here in the middle, and found a pretty good little school. Oh, there's a good one.
That's a thumper.
Oh, man. There he is. Oh. Oh. Just barely hooked.
You have it? There you go.
This might be a crappie.
All right.
And a bass.
There we go. Little guy.
Little one?
Yeah, right flavor though. There we go. There. Whoa. Oh, big crappie.